Hey guys, and welcome back to How I Discovered. Today our topic will be Minecraft, a very substantial game in the gaming community, and this is my story on how I found out about the game and why I love it so much. So my story about Minecraft starts back in 2010. I was very young back then and my friend group consisted of 3 people, and once I went to his house one day, he was playing a new game named Minecraft. Now, I was very intrigued in this game because it looked so different to other games that we used to play back then. He showed me around his world and I just loved it. It was so much different than any other game. Obviously, in the beginning I did not understand the game and its concepts, but after a while, and after seeing him play, I understood what the base game was about. Before I bought the game, there was the free-to-play version on their website, and it was basically the creative mode that we have today, but with less interactions. It was basically the main blocks in the game, and you could do whatever you want. And there was no mining, there was no pickaxes that you can actually mine with, there was no crafting tables, it was only the blocks at your disposal. Now, obviously, back then I was pretty young and I didn't know much about the game. I was just making very random stuff. I used to make my floor out of TNT and put glass over it to make it look like a cool pattern, but this obviously got boring very fast since you couldn't save your world. So I used to leave my laptop open so I don't lose what I've created during that playtime. Now, this continued on for maybe around 3 days. After these 3 days, I decided to buy the game, obviously with the help of my parents. Once I bought the game, it was something completely different. I didn't know anything about the game. I didn't know any crafting recipes, I didn't know how to start. And this is when I called one of my buddies over that showed me the game, and they helped me a bit out. They showed me the normal crafting recipes, how mining works, how the zombies work, and how basically the game starts. And my first ever house in Minecraft, I still remember to this day, it was next to a mountain, and it was just built inside the mountain, and it was 3 blocks high with the ceiling, and there was glass around so I can look outside. Now, my first night, it was pretty intense, let's say. I didn't know much about the mobs, I didn't know how spiders worked, I did not know what creepers were, and I didn't know what skeletons could do. So you can assume what happened next. I died, but thankfully, my friend made me a bed. Now, I didn't know what beds were useful for either, but he told me that it was to pass over the night, and when you died, you could respawn at your bed, and you wouldn't lose your house or anything else apart from your items that you died with. Next up was mining. And obviously I did not know anything about the blocks. I didn't know anything about coal, I didn't know anything about iron, I just didn't know anything about the game. So we set off at our adventure, and I broke the first main rule of Minecraft known today, which is never mine straight down. And guess what? I did exactly that. Mining straight down for the first time, I didn't know there was lava either, so I was just digging straight down to find any ore that I could find. Anything really. So once we've stumbled upon a cave, the first ore I ever saw in the game was redstone. It wasn't iron, it wasn't coal, it was just redstone, and I did not know what it did back then, and neither did my friends, because it was really new to us. After these adventures, let's say, I lost interest in the game. I don't know the reason, I just got burned off it. I just didn't like it at all, and maybe because it was confusing to me back then, but I just quit the game. After maybe a year or so, I discovered the servers tab. And back then there wasn't any server tab where you could just save servers and you could just join them whenever. You just had the direct connect button where you just type the IP and you enter. You didn't see the name of the server or anything else. And I was really curious as to how it worked. So I grabbed my other laptop back then, which was a MacBook Pro that my parents had, and I went on YouTube. I typed in Minecraft servers IP address, and I looked through a bunch of videos and I found a server that looked pretty cool, so I hopped on it. This is my first Minecraft multiplayer experience. It was a really nice server, it had a nice lobby, and it wasn't anything fancy back then, so it was just a wooden house with signs in it that was showing all the rules and what you could do and whatnot. The layout of the server was pretty cool. Once you walked out of spawn, there was areas where you could build your house and basically start off your Minecraft adventure. Upon joining the server, I was greeted by the admins. And safe to say, they were really kind that someone new joined their server. Now, it wasn't a very popular server, it was fairly small, maybe a max of 5 to 6 people at most. But after all, this is my first Minecraft multiplayer experience, and I was shocked at how cool it was to play with other people and in the same world and see the same things. So I set off like any Minecraft world. I was gathering wood, making crafting tables, and building my first house. Now the house wasn't something spectacular, it was basically just maybe a 10 by 15 square house, and I loved it. It had no furniture, it had nothing except for a bed, a few torches, and 2 chests, and a crafting table. This was it. I still remember the layout of the house. There was a staircase that went from the middle up to the roof, and this is when I had the great idea to make a chimney on top of my house. And I was really proud of what I made. It was basically just wood going upwards, and then I placed white wool in different heights to showcase smoke. And it was really cool to me back then that I managed to build something like that, and that my creative mind actually went there to build a nice chimney on top of my house. And the funny thing is, there wasn't a fireplace next to my house. So after playing on the server for a while, it died down, the admins got less and less active, and it was set from peaceful to, I think, normal mode. And I wasn't used to it, so I was really confused as to what was going on. And it was nighttime back then, and there used to be a sort of bug, let's say, where when you placed your bed next to a wall, that just mobs would spawn right when you go to bed. And it really scared me back then because I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know why mobs were just randomly spawning next to my bed when I tried to sleep. So I left the server as is, and I quit the server. I started looking at other servers, but none of them really gave me the enjoyment that I had when I played on my first Minecraft server. So then I took another break from Minecraft. After summer came around, I went to vacation with my family, and I brought our family laptop with me, and it had Minecraft on it. So I got bored and I started looking at servers again and looking for their IP addresses and started joining them. I discovered a very cool server, and it was very advanced. It had really cool spawns, it had warps, it had teleportation, and everything you could imagine. And somehow I ended up in the server jail for something I did that I don't remember. In jail, I met with someone. I don't remember their name, I don't remember their username either, but he was really cool and invited me to a Skype call. Little did I know that this Skype call would make me some of the best friends that I would ever meet online, that I still play with till this day. With the people I met on that Skype call, we decided to make our own Minecraft server that was hosted by a big website, which back then was nitrado.net, and so our first Minecraft server was born. We used to build a nice spawn, we used to build our own characters in a Hall of Fame type of place on huge scales that were just massive, and there would be around 8 to 10 of them. And our friend recorded a video where he showcased our server and uploaded it to YouTube. And after uploading it to YouTube, after the first day or two, we started getting new players. Now obviously we didn't have much knowledge about servers in Minecraft, so we didn't have anti-griefing plugins or anything that prevented players from accessing other people's chests, etc. So people were hopping on and trolling other players, they were griefing everything, and it was just a big mess. So this server went on for maybe a month, and we just left it at that. We didn't bother with it after a while, the server disbanded, no one wanted to pay for it, so it was all just thrown to trash. And no one made a backup of the map either, which was really upsetting because we worked so hard on those characters that we had to build. But luckily, back then we had the World Edit plugin, which allowed you to select a big area and replace the blocks. And ever since that day, those people are still my friends, we still play different types of games together, and most importantly, we had a lot of fun back then. And for me being 14, not even 14, 12 years old or 13 years old, it was the time of my life. We really enjoyed ourselves back then, and this is why I love Minecraft so much. It made me meet new people, it made me meet different people from all around the world that shared the same enjoyment as me about the game. And this is what made Minecraft so cool for me. It was my first multiplayer experience that really put me to a different level, where I realized that games are more than just games. They made memories for me. They were there on my bad days. They were there to cheer me up, and they were there just to pass time when I was bored. It was amazing. This is my story about Minecraft. I really hope you enjoyed the story, and there is more to come. Please give it a thumbs up, please do not forget to subscribe, and please let me know how you discovered Minecraft in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.